Chapter 17, Allocation of Support Activity Costs and Joint Costs, by Autumn and Olivia. Learning Objective 1. Allocate service department costs using the direct method and step-down method. In the direct method, we allocate the costs of each service department to their production departments based on the percentage of use by each production department. Here is an example of direct method cost allocation. It shows the allocation of costs to the production departments but disregards costs between service departments when they consume each other's services. In the step-down method, the service departments are first ranked based on the amount of services they provide to the other service departments. Afterward, based on ranking, service department costs are allocated among other service departments and production departments in a trickle-down method from largest service provider to all other service and production departments. This is an example of step-down method cost allocation. In this type of cost allocation, larger service departments allocate costs to other departments that use their services. Note that costs can't be allocated back to a service department after its costs have been allocated to its lower-ranked counterparts. Learning Objective 2. Use the dual approach to service department cost allocation. Because service departments are utilized by multiple departments, its size is determined by the total estimated usage from these departments. Therefore, in dual cost allocation model, fixed costs are allocated based on long-run estimated usage of services. On the contrary, variable costs are allocated based on short-term estimated usage of the service department by other departments. Why allocate this way? Because service department size is based on an estimated usage level by production departments. The fixed cost of the service department should be divided up and allocated to other departments based on their long-term estimated usage of the service department. Variable costs should be allocated on a short-term basis, however, since one department may require more utilization of a service department than anticipated. They should be held responsible for the spike in utilization in the short term. Learning Objective 3. Explain the difference between two-stage cost allocation with departmental overhead rates and activity-based costing. In two-stage cost allocation with departmental overhead rates, the departments play a major role as cost objects. First, the overhead costs are distributed among all other departments. Next, these costs are allocated from the service departments to the corresponding production departments based on usage. Finally, these costs are passed from the production departments to the products themselves. In activity-based costing system, activities play a major role as cost objects. First, the costs of activities are divided up into cost pools such as utility costs and labor costs. After, the costs in these pools are allocated to specific products or services. Learning Objective 4. Allocate joint costs among joint products using each of the following techniques: physical units method, relative sales value method, and net realizable value method. As discussed in Chapter 14, the joint production process is one that produces two or more products. At the split-off point, the products go on to separate processes to finish production. Physical units method. In the physical units method, joint costs are allocated to the joint products at the split-off point through some physical measure such as weight or volume. Relative sales value method. In this method, the joint product costs are allocated by relative sales value at the split-off point of production. Net realizable value method. The joint costs are allocated to the net realizable value in order to take into account extra costs incurred after the split-off point. Estimated net realizable value is the final sales value minus added processing costs. Learning Objective 5. Describe the purpose for which joint cost allocation is useful and those for which it is not. Joint cost allocation is useful when finding costs for products, but not useful when making economic decisions. Thanks for watching!
Created using Powtoon.